See, it's really on Christ, the solid rock, that we stand. All other ground is really sinking sand. And then you must get an understanding that in the bite of our psyche is that our mind plays tricks on us and begins to tell us that something is much bigger than it really is. But tell your neighbor you got the victory anyway. So they look at this 9'9" tall giant. I believe approximately from research understanding he weighed about 175 pounds. He carried a spear that took well over 32 pounds. So this monster, as we would call it, was covered in brass from head to toe. He was the opponent in which most people would not even stand before, because you believe that how it stretched this has power.
Yes, come on now, come on.
And I'm coming to tell you that so most of us have to get the understanding that we're not afraid about what's behind closed doors. See, some of us need to go and face some real demons that we really need to face a long time ago. But we are in a position even now saying that it's going to move. No, baby. There are certain things you're going to have to unwrap and deal with in order to move your giant out of the way. You can pray and speak in tongues, but there's certain things you just have to speak to and say, today is your last day. Today is your last day. You have dominion and authority over me. I don't care if you did it before you came here today. Today is your day of deliverance. That's how you talk to a giant. Well, there becomes a problem even then that David begins to say to us, like most of us are saying, is that, you know what, I'm not really concerned about the fact that he wants to destroy stuff. David took offense because he was actually broadcasting the name of the Lord. And see, you got to get in your sanctified soul that there's certain things that you're just not going to have in your atmosphere. Nobody's going to defile your God. Nobody's going to say anything about your Jesus. Is there anybody that's ready to defend the kingdom of God? Well, you're not going to talk about my church. You're not going to talk about my pastor. You're not going to talk about the leaders. I've destroyed that giant. You played that one a long time ago. That was for baby Christians, but now I've got a fortified wall that's built up, and I'm going to protect what God has put me in. I'm going to put it in. That's all. So David's heart was motivated by two things. And you got to excuse us because we've been learning about the heart in Bible study. And what I'm understanding about our heart is that whatever our heart is that's what we become. And so it does not speak. I don't believe that David was enthused by money, even though that was offered. I don't think that he was enthused by fame or by power. That was offered, but he wasn't motivated by that. But he was motivated, most importantly, by the glory of God. Somebody shout for the glory of God. Because Goliath was the mocking of the God of Israel, and David could not stand for those thoughts to be happening. So he decided to stand up to the opposition because it came to the point that he was disrespecting his God. And see, I'm wondering how many of you are still allowing people to come into your life and still disrespect your God that you trust and that you say that you have allegiance to. But when it comes time to really stand up for sound doctrine, when it comes time for you to give God everything, you can outdo it later. You got to defeat that Goliath, because that Goliath will constantly grow and mature and to develop and continue to break you down. Is there anybody that's saying today is your last stage, Goliath? Was that he, by his role, he was newly anointed king. And I understand that as being a new whatever, new pastor, new leader, new whatever else. I've learned this about ministry just a few years ago, is that when you're anointed by God to do something, you're going to make mistakes. Yeah. Nobody said anything like that. You're going to make mistakes. I don't care how anointed you are. You're going to mix it up. You're going to fail it. You're going to say something to somebody wrong. You're going to do something wrong. But still yet I've understood that in the midst of all of that, God still covers you. Still covers you. See, the seeds of what David was, and I was talking about this earlier this morning. See, the seeds of what you are, some of those things cannot be spoken in tongues over. Some of those things you really have to really deal with. If I have the spirit of lust, then I have to deal with the spirit. Y'all better talk to me here. If I got the spirit of whatever it is that is the spirit of control, I got to modify that with the deeds of my flesh. I got to kill it daily before it kills me. Yeah, I understand that now. Didn't I understand that before? But I understand that what you consistently became to the understanding of is that now God is calling you a little bit higher than you were before. But then it comes to the point now that he's no longer intimidated by all the naysayers anymore. weapon